Hello friends, this COVID has brought ourselves with people who know we are worth. We do not need too many people to be happy, just a few real ones who appreciate us for exactly who we are and how we are. With this quote, myself Advocate Jagdish Wargade, President of Shahpur Court Bar Association, welcome you all to the Legal Lecture Series Part 3, Lecture 3. All the participants are requested not to unmute their audio during the lecture, as this lecture is also available on Facebook Live. For those who have network issues, may connect to Facebook by clicking the link www.facebook.com/shahpurlawyers, and also the lecture will be available on YouTube on our YouTube channel by the name of Shahpur Court Bar Association. Friends, we have organized a lecture on a subject which has become a core issue in past few years, that is decreasing as compared to male. There are few laws in India which tackle this issue, and one of those laws are PCPNDT Act. Today we have with us Advocate Anushri Bernard, Advocate Supreme Court and coordinator of Vanishing Girl campaign in India. I welcome Anushri ma'am to our legal lecture, and I'm very grateful to her that she accepted our request to deliver lecture on such an important subject. I request Advocate Nathan Wilson, who is also coordinator of Vanishing Girl campaign for Maharashtra and Goa, and who has helped us in organizing this lecture, and with the help of Anushri ma'am. So I request Advocate Nathan Wilson to introduce Anushri ma'am to our participants who have connected to us in Zoom as well as on Facebook. Thank you. Advocate Nathan Wilson, please.
Yes. Thank you, Advocate Jagdish Wargade, and thank you for the good initiative which you have taken to start this legal series. It's definitely, amazing. Like you have continued it in this particular lockdown period, and it's tremendous. And it's really great of you and Shahpur Bar Association, and also your team. And thank you for this initiative. Now, speaking about Advocate Anushri Bernard, she is a lawyer working for ADF India, Alliance Defending Freedom, as a coordinator for the Vanishing Girls campaign since 2016. And this campaign aims to address the practice of selective abortions in India through an effective implementation of the preconception prenatal diagnostic techniques, that is Prohibition of Sex Selection Act 1994. Advocate Anushri, she is graduated with a BA Honours degree in history from St. Stephen's College, University of Delhi, and pursuant to which she graduated with a bachelor's degree in law from Campus Law Center, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. Advocate Anushri has been working in the field of social development for the last 5 years. Prior to her association with ADF India, she was working against modern day slavery as a legal consultant with Justice Ventures International in New Delhi on the issues of bonded labor and child labor. As the coordinator of the Vanishing Girls campaign, Advocate Anushri has been actively working to address the issue of the declining child sex ratio through advocacy and capacity building with the government, judiciary, and like-minded civil society stakeholders. And it is good to know about this particular act, PCPNDT Act, because of selective abortions, the girl child has been reduced. So I request Advocate Anushri Bernard to take over and highlight us on this particular act and the campaign which she is doing, and she's heading the campaign on Vanishing Girls campaign. So I request her to highlight us on this. Over to you, Advocate Anushree Bernard.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Advocate Wilson, Advocate Jagdish, for calling me to speak on this very important issue and an act which needs more discussions. And मुझे आज आप सबसे मिलके बात करने में I'm very grateful and thank you so much for joining.
Sorry to interrupt. Please start your video, please.
Ma'am, sorry, my video is not working actually. So okay. That's why I have not switched it on. There is an issue. And actually मेरा जो computer है वो last minute my laptop थोड़ा सा खराब हो गया है. तो I have a presentation which I made. But because my computer is not working, तो मैं वो presentation नहीं कर पाऊंगी. In the sense दिखा नहीं पाऊंगी. But I will share it with you all as soon as possible. I will share it with Advocate Jagdish and he can, share it with everyone on the call. So, थोड़े से technical glitches हो गए last minute, so excuse me for that. But thank you so much for joining. And आज हम एक बहुत ही important act के बारे में बात करना चाहते हैं, जो हमारे देश की जो गिरती हुई बाल जनसंख्या है उसको बचाने के लिए ये एक्ट बनाया गया है. एंड उससे पहले हम थोड़ा सा इस इश्यू के बारे में बात करना चाहते हैं कि एक्चुअली हमारी बाल जनसंख्या जो चाइल्ड सेक्स रेशियो है वो गिर क्यों रहा है. द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ फीमेल फीटिसाइड आज के दौर में where everything is so technologically advanced, where we are moving ahead with time, but why are we still aborting the girl child? Why are we not letting our girls be born? Primarily because the massive जो हमारे देश की जो प्रथा है कि जो सन प्रेफरेंस होती है उसकी वजह से बहुत सारे लोग जो हैं अल्ट्रासाउंड कराते वक्त ये जानना चाहते हैं कि उन्हें लड़का है या लड़की. और अगर बहुत सारे लोगों को, मैं जनरलाइज नहीं कर रही हूँ, पर many times a lot of people they find out कि उन्हें लड़की होने वाली है, so they want to go ahead with an abortion, जिसको बोलते हैं sex selective abortions. And अगर हम अपने कंट्री की जो चाइल्ड सेक्स रेशियो है उसको देखें तो it has been declining since 1981 से लेके 91, 962 से लेके 945, फिर 2001 में it was 927, and now at the present moment in 2011 जो last time census conduct हुआ था, there are only 918 लड़कियां for every 1000 boys. तो एक आइडियल चाइल्ड सेक्स रेशियो होता है जब अराउंड 950 गर्ल्स फॉर एवरी 1000 बॉयज होती हैं, बट यहाँ पे इट्स डिक्लाइनिंग ओवर द इयर्स. तो इट्स आयरॉनिकल कि जैसे हमारा देश आगे बढ़ रहा है वैसे लड़कियों की संख्या कम होती जा रही है. तो इसके लिए हमारे सरकार ने इन 1994 एक एक्ट निकाला था जिसका नाम है प्री कंसेप्शन. पहले ये जो एक्ट था वो प्री नेटल डायग्नोस्टिक टेक्निक्स एक्ट था. इसमें कंसेप्शन वर्ड इंक्लूड नहीं किया था. फिर ये अमेंड हुआ था 2002 के दौरान, एंड तब जाके 2003 में ये अमेंड होके प्री कंसेप्शन भी इसमें ऐड हुआ. एंड प्री कंसेप्शन प्री नेटल डायग्नोस्टिक टेक्निक्स प्रोहिबिशन ऑफ सेक्स सिलेक्शन एक्ट ये जाके बना. इस एक्ट के अंदर सेक्स डिटर्मिनेशन करवाना एक बहुत बड़ा क्राइम है. आई एम श्योर आप सब जानते होंगे कि पहले बिफोर द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ दिस एक्ट हमारे देश में जब अल्ट्रासाउंड टेक्नोलॉजी इन द लेट 70s अर्ली 80s जब आई थी, तो अगर आप ग्राफ देखेंगे तो वहां पे आपको ये पता चलेगा कि सडनली एक चाइल्ड सेक्स रेशियो में डिक्लाइन होने लग गया, because people started finding out the sex of their child. And अगर उन्हें पता चलता कि if the sex of the child was mostly a girl, then most people would then go in for an abortion. So उससे ultrasound का misuse हो रहा था, and there was no control to prohibit that, which is why this act came into existence in 1994. एंड हमारे जो देश में अब आप कहीं भी जाएंगे, कोई भी हॉस्पिटल, अल्ट्रासाउंड सेंटर, any pregnant woman, any pregnant couple who goes there, they will आप देखेंगे कि हर एक हॉस्पिटल के बाहर, हर एक अल्ट्रासाउंड सेंटर के बाहर एक बोर्ड लगा रहता है जिसमें होता है दैट सेक्स डिटर्मिनेशन इज स्ट्रिक्टली प्रोहिबिटेड। यहाँ पे लिंग जांच करवाना एक कानूनी अपराध है। तो ये हर जगह लिखना होता है, और अगर नहीं लिखा है किसी अल्ट्रासाउंड सेंटर या हॉस्पिटल में जहाँ पे अल्ट्रासाउंड फैसिलिटी है, तो वो एक कानूनी अपराध है। तो ऐसे ही मैं आज आपको आपका ज्यादा वक्त नहीं लूंगी और इस एक्ट को थोड़ा सा हम डिटेल में समझेंगे। थोड़े से जजमेंट्स हैं जो हम डिटेल में उनके बारे में चर्चा करेंगे, एंड उसके बाद you all are free to ask me questions about this act। and जैसा मेरा लैपटॉप लाइक आई मेंशन थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, I will share my presentation with एडवोकेट जगदीश कि वो आपके साथ भी ये शेयर कर पाए। एंड आई होप कि हम टुगेदर इन महाराष्ट्र वी कैन वर्क ऑन दीज इश्यूज, वी कैन वर्क टुगेदर टू यू नो एडवोकेट विल्सन ने आपको वैनिशिंग गर्ल्स कैंपेन के बारे में बताया है, तो इस कैंपेन के अंदर हम वी आर अ ग्रुप ऑफ लॉयर्स हु आर वर्किंग टू मेक श्योर दैट द PCPNDT Act is implemented well sorry for that, is implemented well, and we are able to raise awareness about the legal rights and about the law that has been made to prohibit sex determination and sex selective abortions in India. So moving on to this act, now when we look at this act, तो ये act जो है strictly sex selection पे एक पाबंदी लगाता है before or after conception, और इसमें जो प्रीनेटल डायग्नोस्टिक टेक्निक्स हैं, जैसे फॉर द पर्पसेस फॉर समटाइम्स डिटेक्टिंग, जैसे अगर किसी बच्चे में जेनेटिक अबनॉर्मैलिटीज हैं, मेटाबॉलिक डिसऑर्डर्स हैं, क्रोमोसोमल अबनॉर्मैलिटीज हैं, तो ये जो प्रॉब्लम्स जो प्री बर्थ में होती हैं उस टेक्निक्स पे भी एक रेगुलेशन डालता है। So this is an act to provide for the prohibition of sex selection before or after conception and for regulation of prenatal diagnostic techniques for the purposes of detecting genetic abnormalities or metabolic disorders or chromosomal abnormalities or certain congenital malformations or sex-linked disorders, and for the prevention of their misuse for sex determination leading to female feticide and for matters therefore connected. So I hope this was clear कि इस act का object है to prohibit sex selective abortions, to prohibit female feticide. Now अगर हम इस act को देखें तो सबसे पहले हमें ये जानना है कि what is regulation, इसमें regulations क्या होते हैं। Now under section 3 of the act, when you see there is a strict regulation, कोई भी जैसे अल्ट्रासाउंड सेंटर है, जेनेटिक काउंसलिंग सेंटर है, उनमें बहुत सारी गाइडलाइंस होती हैं कि दे कैन नॉट एसोसिएट विथ एनी एक्टिविटीज जो मिसयूज ऑफ प्रीनेटल प्री कंसेप्शन एक्टिविटीज में इंक्लूड होता है। सो नो जेनेटिक काउंसलिंग सेंटर, लेबोरेटरी और क्लिनिक अनलेस रजिस्टर्ड अंडर दिस एक्ट shall conduct or associate with any activity relating to prenatal diagnostic techniques. That shows that इसमें registration of every center is very important, कि हर एक सेंटर को registered होना पड़ता है। बहुत सारे हम देखते हैं हर एक स्टेट, हर एक सिटी, हर एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक लिस्ट ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड अल्ट्रासाउंड सेंटर्स होती हैं। अगर हम कभी कभी जाते हैं, अगर थोड़ा सा सर्वे करेंगे तो पता चलेगा कि ऐसे बहुत सारे सेंटर्स हैं जो अनरजिस्टर्ड हैं। सो दैट इज ऑल्सो एन ऑफेंस अंडर द एक्ट, एंड एवरी अल्ट्रासाउंड सेंटर, एवरी क्लिनिक जहाँ पे फैसिलिटी है, इट हैज टू बी रजिस्टर्ड अंडर द लॉ। And then it goes on to say that जो भी these ultrasound centers have to employ people who conduct these activities who have the qualifications to do that. तो जैसे अगर आपके क्लिनिक कोई ओनर है वहाँ का क्लिनिक का, but he is not a doctor, but he is conducting ultrasound facilities, so that is an offense because he does not have the qualification to do that. तो ये हमें सब ध्यान में रखना है. And they should not conduct any sex selection activity. No person, including a specialist or a team of specialists in the field of infertility, shall conduct or cause to be conducted, sex selection on a woman or any other issue related to that. So that is also कि हमें एक ensure करना है that there is no sex selection, that these ultrasound clinics are not engaging in sex selective activities. Then there is also section 3B says that there is also a prohibition on the sale of ultrasound machines to any person, any laboratory clinic which is not registered under the act. तो ये हमें ये बताता है कि अगर कोई अल्ट्रासाउंड सेंटर, कोई लेबोरेटरी या कोई भी क्लिनिक रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है तो उनको अल्ट्रासाउंड बेचना इज नॉट अलाउड, अल्ट्रासाउंड मशीन बेचना is not allowed in the act. So this is the basis, like this is the beginning where एक बहुत regulations डालते हैं अल्ट्रासाउंड फैसिलिटीज क्लिनिक्स में, जहाँ पे ऐसी डायग्नोस्टिक लेबोरेटरीज में, कि उन्हें अगर उन लोग ये एक्टिविटीज करते हैं तो उन्हें रेगुलेशन की बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस होनी चाहिए. So section 3 and 3 to 3B they talk to us about that. Then if we talk about section 4 talks about regulation of prenatal diagnostic techniques. इसमें जो भी prenatal diagnostic होते हैं, जैसे pre birth, अगर कोई parents check करना चाहते हैं about any chromosomal abnormalities, genetic metabolic diseases, so or and many more such things like this, then they must ensure that they are not checking the sex of their child. There is a regulation on these techniques, and that is important to make sure that we are doing that. And also, it is important that जो भी ये conduct कर रहा है on a pregnant woman, they must keep a complete record of all the prenatal diagnostic activities that they conducted on the pregnant woman, which otherwise, if they don't, it will be in contravention of section 5 or section 6 of the act, which I will now talk about. And also, it is important to know that no person, which is either a husband or a relative of the pregnant woman, shall, they shouldn't ask the doctor कि हमें लिंग जांच बता दीजिए, and they shouldn't force the person, the pregnant woman, to conduct, to undergo a sex selection, a sex determination test. So these are some important features in section 3 and 4, which talks about regulation of regulation of genetic counseling centers and regulation of prenatal diagnostic techniques. Then when we talk about section 5 mentions कि जो भी pregnant woman एक अल्ट्रासाउंड टेस्ट करवा रही है अपने प्रीनेटल डायग्नोस्टिक टेक्निक्स के थ्रू, she has to give her written consent कि she is undergoing these tests to the doctor, and उनको इसके सारे प्रोसीजर समझाए जाते हैं, and उनको you have to make sure, I mean, when we are looking at these cases, when we are reviewing these cases, so evidence ke time we have to also understand that no person, including the person who's conducting the prenatal diagnostic techniques, procedures, the doctor, radiologist, sonologist, कोई भी pregnant woman को communicate नहीं कर सकता है the sex of her child by any words, actions, anything. They cannot communicate the sex of the child, either by words or by actions. So this is something we have to understand while we review cases under this act, that the written consent under section 5 of the act is required while she undergoes prenatal diagnostic procedures. Then when we talk about section 6, section 6 is probably the most important part of the act because उसमें बताते हैं that there is a strict prohibition on determination of sex of your fetus, of the child. So section 6 says that determination of sex is strictly prohibited under the act. So no genetic counseling center, laboratory, clinic shall conduct the determination of sex on a child, shall conduct a ultrasound or any such procedures for the purposes of determining the sex. तो किसी भी clinic, कोई भी ultrasound center अगर sex determination कर रहा है तो वो एक बहुत बड़ा crime है and हमें उसके खिलाफ तुरंत action लेना चाहिए. And as lawyers, we must file complaints and we must take action against these centers. So just these are the initial features of the act. Moving on to say the more important part. Now this act has important features where we talk about authorities. Now इस एक्ट का एक सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट फीचर ये है कि इस एक्ट के अंदर this act brings into accountability the medical professionals. तो जो भी medical professionals हैं वो इस एक्ट के अंदर accountable हैं. मगर अगर कोई वाइफ, अगर कोई प्रेग्नेंट वुमन का हस्बैंड या रिलेटिव उन्हें फोर्स कर रहे हैं to undergo sex determination or to undergo sex selective abortion, then they will also be prosecuted. But primarily this act talks about how the doctors have to be responsible while they're conducting ultrasound facilities in their establishments. So this onus is on the medical fraternity, on the medical professionals. So इसके लिए एक special department बनाया गया है जिसको हम बोलते हैं PCPNDT department that comes under the health ministry of every state, and at the central level it comes under the health ministry of India. So इस PCPNDT department को अगर हम देखेंगे तो इसमें बहुत सारे structures हैं. अगर मेरा presentation होता तो I would have been able to show you who the implementing bodies are. तो इसमें at the state level at the central level होता है, then at the state level and district level and sub district level. So there are these hierarchy. इस सेंट्रल लेवल पे होता है सेंट्रल सुपरवाइजरी बोर्ड जो सारा फंक्शनिंग ऑफ ऑल द authorities across India, in states, in districts, they monitor that, they supervise that. उनका role है to monitor the implementation of the act. And अगर हम if we look at then the functions of the central supervisory board, then their function is to advise the central government on policy matters relating to use of prenatal diagnostic techniques, sex selection techniques, and against their misuse. Hello? Hello?
Hello, you are audible, you are audible.
Okay, all right, okay. Then अगर हम उसके बाद देखें, so इनका second function होता है to review and monitor implementation of the act and rules made thereunder and recommend to the central government changes in the said act and rules, and to oversee the performance of various bodies constituted under the act and take appropriate steps to ensure its proper and effective implementation. So basically, Central Supervisory Board is the main body at the top which oversees the functioning of the implementation of the act in different states and across India. अगर हम Central Supervisory Board को देखेंगे, उसके बाद आता है the State Supervisory Board and the State Appropriate Authorities. Now, आप ये we have to make sure that we know what a State Appropriate Authority is. A State Appropriate Authority is that where in every state there is an appropriate authority at the state level, at the PCPNDT department, who monitors the functioning of that state implementation of the act. So unka role bhi is very similar when we look at the functions of the state supervisory board is similar to central supervisory board, but state supervisory board is limited to that particular state, but central oversees everything. And then when we talk about a state appropriate authority, हर एक state में एक state appropriate authority होती है, and union territories के लिए it's separate. And the powers of the appropriate authorities is that they can summon any person who is in possession of any information relating to violation of the provisions of the act or the rules made thereunder. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि they have the power, जैसे if they know कि कहीं पे violation हो रहा है, they have the power to summon that person to take out more information about it. And they can also, they have the power to produce, to ask for production of any document or material object relating to clause A, and issuing search warrant for any place suspected to be indulging in sex selection techniques or prenatal sex determination. So they have very strong powers in every state. State appropriate authority is actually बहुत important है, and they actually make sure that the implementation of the PCPNDT Act is happening in their state. So अगर जैसे state of Maharashtra, if you're looking at, then the Maharashtra State Appropriate Authority will be overseeing हर एक area, हर एक district that comes under Maharashtra for the implementation of the PCPNDT Act. So this is very important, and हमें इसका ध्यान रखना चाहिए, and we must make sure. And one thing that also I would like to mention is कि the cases that come under PCPNDT Act, they come under the state, the government. So any complaint that is filed, वो eventually एक state matter बन जाता है. So it is upon the state appropriate authority कि उनका evidence कितना strong होता है to when they conduct inspections at clinics, when they find out illegalities, so उनका inspection कितना strong होता है, उनका evidence कितना strong होता है. So we must also build their capacity through these legal trainings also to understand की functioning कैसे होती है of the act, from the starting of inspection to the last stage of collecting of evidence and panchnama, witnesses, etc. So these are the implementing bodies. Then after state आता है district appropriate authority. अब जैसे थाने is a district, तो वहाँ का जो district appropriate authority है would be the SDM or the collector or the DM. So the DM के office में DM or SDM will be the district appropriate authority, and he or she will be responsible for the functioning of the act under that district. तो अगर कोई भी complaint जाती है against any ultrasound center, so the DM will be notified about it through a written complaint, handwritten complaint, or typed complaint, that depends. But the DM will be, because the DM is the district appropriate authority, so the DM will have to take responsibility to act against the complaint and take action and inspect the place, etc. So this was about the implementing bodies. Now, if we talk about, I think we've already finished about 35 minutes. I'll quickly run through a few more sections, and I'll just discuss some case laws, and then we can have some questions. So now when we talk about, I mentioned कि इसमें हर एक ultrasound center, genetic counseling center, laboratory, clinic must be registered. Registration of every clinic has to be, it's mandatory. Every genetic counseling center, laboratory, or clinic that provides prenatal diagnostic techniques, that provides ultrasound facilities, must be registered. And if it is not registered, then that is a clear violation under the PCPNDT Act, and a complaint can be submitted to the appropriate authority to take action against that clinic. And they must also give a certificate of registration. जो होता है registration certificate, that must be displayed while and it must be kept ready. They must have that certificate, because inspection happens in every clinic once every 90 days. So जो भी जैसे district appropriate authority करते हैं कभी या अगर state appropriate authority करते हैं, so that inspection happens, and when that inspection happens and उनको वो certificate of registration, they must keep it ready to show, so they must have it with them all times. And अगर section 20 के अंदर है, if the district appropriate authority or the state appropriate authority or the other appropriate authority, they find any discrepancy, कोई violation होता है और उन्हें पता चलता है inspection के दौरान या investigation के दौरान, so they have the power to immediately cancel or suspend the license of that ultrasound center, laboratory or clinic. And they have the license to suspend and or cancel the registration of that ultrasound center, clinic, and also seal their machines till the time, till the time period they feel so. And of course, the people jinka hota hai, they can go and appeal against the order of cancellation or suspension. So this talks about the powers of the appropriate authority. When we look at the rules of the PCPNDT Act, then since we are talking about the power of the appropriate authorities, it is important to also mention that under Rule 12 of the PCPNDT rules, they also have the power for search and seizure of any ultrasound center, clinic, laboratory under Rule 12. So because of lack of time, I will not go through this rule, but you must make sure that Rule 12 of the PCPNDT rules gives them the power to search and seize any ultrasound machine that they find and which is in violation of the Act. Then Section 22 of the Act clearly talks about prohibition on the advertisement relating to preconception and prenatal determination of sex. तो अगर आप देखते होंगे पहले बहुत सारे बहुत बोर्ड्स लगते थे या एड्स होते थे ऑनलाइन कि अगर आपको अपने बच्चे का लिंग जानना है तो आप ये करिए या find out this, find out that. So any advertisement relating to detection of the sex of your child is a clear offense under the Act, and that person will be prosecuted. Now, when we look at the offenses under the Act, it is important to see that every offense, there is no gradation of offenses. तो अगर कोई भी offense होता है under this Act, सबके अंदर there is a minimum punishment for a term that can be extended to 3 years with fine, and the name of the registered medical practitioner shall be reported by the appropriate authority to the state medical council for taking necessary action against them. So there is no gradation. So agar there is no registration, or there is determination of sex, or they are not maintaining records of their ultrasound, so all this, either of this, it will lead to a violation which is punishable under Section 23 of the Act. Most of the offenses under the Act are non-bailable, and it is important to take this Act as very serious and to take these offenses as very serious, because that will only lead to implementation of the Act. So now when we talk about records, which I just talked about, maintenance of records under Section 29 is a very, very, very important procedure, which every clinic, any laboratory or any hospital that conducts ultrasound facilities, they must complete and keep records, all records, charts, forms, reports, consent letters, and all the documents required to be maintained under this Act, and for a period of 2 years. कि अगर कोई भी उनका अल्ट्रासाउंड फैसिलिटीज ऑन अ प्रेग्नेंट वुमन हो रहा है, क्या उनकी procedures हुए हैं, they have to maintain those records. Those records are known as Form F. Form F is very important, and in a recent judgment that came out last year, Foxy versus Union of India at the Supreme Court in May 2019, The Supreme Court has also laid down the importance of Form F, and to the effect that in the absence of Form F, it will be, understood that sex determination activity has taken place. So Form F जो होता है, that is actually the most important element while conducting, inspections by these authorities, and also while developing the case studies. It is important to see कि Form F का कैसे maintenance हो रहा है. And this is an issue जो बहुत violate होता है. So Form F is very important, and while we undergo these cases, we must make sure that Form F का हमारे पास evidence है, and if there is no Form F, then it is understood that we must take action against them and build a case around that. So these are some important rules. Then now that we talk about hello,
you're audible.
Okay. So now that I was talking about the offenses under this act are cognizable, non-bailable, and non-compoundable. Section 27 of the act lays this down. Now the thing is about who can make a complaint. What is the procedure? Who can file a complaint? Section 26 talks about cognizance of offenses. Now under this, no court shall take cognizance of an offense under this act except on a complaint made by the appropriate authority concerned or any other officer authorized on in this behalf by the central government or the state government, as the case may be, and a person who has given notice of not less than 15 days in the manner prescribed to the appropriate authority of the alleged offense and of his intention to make a complaint to the court. So basically, if an individual or an organization, they find out about an offense happening, कोई violation हो रहा है आपके जान में, you are aware कि इस clinic में कुछ ऐसा हो रहा है, which is against the PCPNDT Act. So you have to first send a complaint of what you found out to the appropriate authority, district appropriate authority, and then they have a period of 15 days to take action. And अगर 15 दिन में action नहीं लेते हैं, then you can go to the judicial magistrate or the metropolitan magistrate and make your complaint over there. So under this act, section 28 talks about cognizance of offenses. So these are some important provisions under the act, and इसमें हमें ये ध्यान में रखना है that section 31 saves the person who is taking any action against any violations in any ultrasound centers, clinics, laboratory, where it says that section 31 says that protection of action taken in good faith, that no suit, prosecution or other legal proceeding shall lie against the central or the state government or the appropriate authority or any officer authorized or for anything which is in good faith done or intended or in pursuance of provisions. So this saves this, any act which is done in good faith will not be liable for any legal proceedings. So if you have information which is authentic, आप अपना submit करते हो and it turns out to be good, it turns out to be correct, and you will be protected under section 31. And one thing we have to make sure and understand that this act also protects the woman, the pregnant woman. No action will be taken against the pregnant woman. So with this, I want to now first of all share some important judgments. I will share the citations with you all when I share my PowerPoint. But just to talk about what are the landmark judgments in the PCPNDT Act. तो जो सीहत versus Union of India है, it started in 2001 and then it ended in 2003, जिसमें decide हुआ था about the implementation of the act, about how the Supreme Court laid emphasis that there has to be an implementation of the PCPNDT Act and the National Inspection Monitoring Committee, जो NIMC है, it's a special statutory body under the Act which has the power to conduct inspections anywhere across India in any clinic they find violations in. तो इसके through वो NIMC भी set up हुई थी. Then when we look at the Voluntary Health Association of Punjab versus Union of India, जो उनका last order था in 2016 by the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court has laid emphasis again on the implementation of the Act, again on setting up fast track courts, on ensuring that the appropriate authorities and the various implementing bodies under the Act are meeting regularly for their meetings, are having their meetings, are ensuring the implementation of the Act where matters are heard at a fast track. So uske liye special fast track courts bhi bole gaye the, and just implementing the Act, maintenance of Form F, all these were laid down in that judgment. And when I talk about the recent judgment जो FOXI का आया है last year, FOXI versus Union of India, उसमें हमें we have to take that as a very important judgment because it has laid emphasis on Form F. And agar based on that judgment, what we understand is that if there is absence of Form F, then that leads to the assumption that sex determination has been conducted in that clinic, hospital, center, whatever that place is. So it is important to understand that there are many more judgments which I will share with you all later when I share the PowerPoint. But since we are running a little late in time, so I will now open the house for questions and discussions. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you, Advocate Anushree Bernard, for that insight and taking us over those particular sections of the Act. So let us keep this forum open for the question answers. I request Advocate Jagdish Wargade to take over.
Sir, ma'am, can you share the case laws on the screen? Can you share it?
I'm using my phone actually.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, like I have a major technical glitch. Okay, so okay. I am not able to use my laptop.
Can you please read over all these citations? Which we
yeah. 1 second, just a minute. So the FOXI judgment. Just a minute. Can I share this with you after this? I'll share all the citations and the judgments. Yeah.
Okay, no issue, ma'am.
Yeah.
I do not find any questions in the chat box.
Okay. Okay.
1 minute. Just a minute.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Advocate Bernard, I wanted to ask, how can advocates be involved in helping to see that these particular sections of the provisions be implemented properly?
Yeah. Thank you, Advocate Wilson. That was a very important question, and thank you for asking that. So, like I said, that isme jo cases hote hain, they are taken up by the state. So all the cases under PCPNDT, they become state matters unless we file private complaints and then, we take action against it. But that also, we will be witnesses in that. So we have to make sure, but all the matters under this come under the PCPNDT Act because you have to submit the complaint to the appropriate authority and then the government leaders, they take over. So what we can do is that we can engage with the government leaders. We can assist them in ensuring that all the evidences for, you know, a good case, if there is a real violation, so we ensure that all the evidence is clearly collected from the start, all the sections. If you know, they've searched and the ultrasound machine, the registration of the clinic was not there, then we make sure that we are using that section 18, that, you know, registration of clinic is mandatory and the clinic was not registered. So what we can do in our capacity as lawyers is to first understand the act well, and also train others, train, maybe, you know, provide trainings at district level, at state level, to other lawyers on this act, and to assist the public government leaders in making sure that, you know, the case is properly like all the evidences are collected, all the important sections that can make the case a strong case are mentioned, and there are no lapses in that. And maybe also, you know, assist them with probably drafting and many such things.
Thank you. Thank you.
Something that I would like to understand is, I have a question from the audience that how, I mean, when we look at Maharashtra has had good conviction rate in PCPNDT cases. I mean, last 3 years का जो data, 3 years ago जो data मैंने collect किया था, and उससे जो मुझे पता चला that there have been 84 convictions in Maharashtra, one of the highest in India after Haryana, after Rajasthan. So, have you all come across any cases relating to PCPNDT Act?
Not yet. But when for me, when I was talking with some of our classmates,
Yeah.
and out of them, some judges who were there, they have handled these particular cases. So,
Okay.
according to him, they were saying that, see, because of some lacuna, like to who can file the cases, and who can be the complainants. So, if that is made clear, and if the authority is given, like if it is a state case and so on, so there are some loopholes. Likewise, one of our judges' friends was saying. So, any highlight on it? Any loopholes in this act?
Any loopholes in the act?
Yes.
So, loopholes, I wouldn't say it as a loophole, but the act excludes the police. So, the implementing bodies are actually the appropriate authorities, and, you know, the PCPNDT department, but इसमें police का role ज़्यादा नहीं है. So, but sometimes what happens is that जब FIR होती है against that clinic, तो और तो conviction ज़्यादा strong होने की उम्मीद होती है, then the police also gets involved. So Haryana में and Rajasthan में what they have done is that, you know, they include the police also. So in that they have Rajasthan especially has a special police PCPNDT cell where the police is looking after these particular cases. So usse the conviction rate becomes higher because it's evidence collection, and, you know, the cases, some IPC sections are also included. So that makes this case more stronger. So that is there. I have a question which I just read. Someone asked me, can a pregnant woman abort a child in first few weeks just because she does not want to bear the child at that time? Now, we must make sure that abortions in India are taken under Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971, which is known as the MTP Act. So, abortions up to, like right now, it's going under amendments. So, you know, there is, the government is going through an amendment of the MTP Act, but the previous MTP Act says that abortion can go up to 20 weeks. So, and 20 weeks with the permission of 2 medical practitioners, and 12 weeks with the permission of 1 medical practitioner. So, if you talk about abortion in general, that comes under MTP. But when you talk about sex-selective abortion, that comes under PCPNDT Act. So these are two different things and they need to be dealt differently. So, but then the reason of the woman aborting her child also have to be known. But that so abortion, if you're talking about abortion in general, that will come under MPP. So that is a different aspect to discuss and discover. But PCPNDT talks about sex-selective abortions. So yeah, it depends what kind of a case that is.
But there is a question in the chat box. Are there any guidelines with the state as to raid such clinics and confiscate the instruments? Are there any guidelines?
Yes, it's under the act, which I said that under Rule 12 of the PCPNDT rules, the state authorities, they have the power to search and seize any any objects or material objects which they feel are in violation of the act.
There is another question.
Madam,
the first information report can be filed with the police in view of bar of taking cognizance on complaint.
So, hello? Yeah, like I said, that FIR is filed in many cases, and it would be good to file some states like Haryana and Rajasthan. They have filed FIRs. I think in Maharashtra also some cases there have been FIRs. So when the FIR is filed, it makes this case more stronger because some more IPC sections can be included along with the PCPNDT sections. So yeah, I mean, depending on the gravity of the case, we can see if FIR has to be filed or not.
Hello.
Someone has also said that kindly share the citations. Yes. I will definitely share my PowerPoint and the case citations with everyone. I mean, with Advocate Jagdish, and he can then share it with all of you. So I'm so sorry that my system actually gave up on me at the last minute, and I was quite nervous, but I managed to do it with my notes. But yeah, I mean, definitely a presentation would have been definitely more helpful. I will share that as soon as I get it fixed.
Madam?
Yes?
I have a question. Whether the general provisions of IPC would be applicable to this act also? Conviction under this act.
Yeah, correct. So,
and what would be the provisions then? What provisions would be applicable then?
Yeah, just a minute. So, when we look at the PCPNDT, we'll have to see about what kind of case it is. And sometimes the provisions that can be filed can be relating to, forcing a miscarriage against, I mean, when you look at the husband, it can be against the miscarriage. And in the IPC sections, I will get back to you when I share my PowerPoint. I will mention the sections also under which you can file.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions, please do ask the madam. Otherwise, I will end the meeting today with hello.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Advocate Deepak Dongre, please. Advocate Deepak Dongre, please ask your questions directly to ma'am. Advocate Deepak Dongre.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Am I audible? Madam,
yes.
I would like to ask one very simple question, because we come across day to day in life where the husband and wife both are in collision for knowing the sex of a very child, right? And in that case, if the medical practitioner is also in collision with him, how to surface this particular fact when the country is facing a very acute problem of gender balancing?
Yeah.
Just comment on this, because many a times it happens that husband and wife both are wanting, or they want to know what is the sex of that upcoming child. And if they go to any practitioner for that particular purpose, and if he does, then in that case, how it is to be surfaced? Because it could be very difficult, because there will not be any person who will be knowing this particular act which is being prohibited by our legislature.
Right. Thank you so much for that question. And the answer to that is very simple. That if the husband or the wife, they want to know the sex of their child from the doctor, then the doctor has to be absolutely strict about not revealing the sex. And if the doctor does reveal the sex, and then the doctor, and they find out, and if they take some weird action against the, like if they don't want a girl, for instance, and if they are having a girl, and if they go abort the child, then definitely the doctor will also be prosecuted, and the person, the husband of the wife, will be also taken under prosecution, because like I mentioned, the pregnant woman is safe. But any person who forces the pregnant woman, be it a husband or her relative, will also be, there will be action against them. So,
because these are very important, we can say measuring two measures or tools, which will definitely change the minds of the people. That is what very important. Because as I said sometime before,